that, I would like to hand over to Tim. He has prepared some closing remarks.
Yeah, very spontaneous, guys. Look, it has been very exciting 24 hours, and I can tell you, not only 24 hours, it had been almost a year for us, to get this 24 hours prepared here. And we had intensive discussion. I said, laid it out yesterday. This is more for inside than for outside. So good for you guys, but now for us the work starts. And I can tell you, we will have now a rollout plan in the countries. We have town halls where we will have, let's say, internal discussions now with our people about every single page which we have presented to you, because this is going to be the Bible for the upcoming years, and to fulfill the commitments which we have given you. Now, these were the guys, who were driving it for the last 12 months. By the way, they are both, addicted cyclists, so therefore, thank you, Jose, who, by the way, was our boss in Czech and Slovakia. Now he's head of strategy, and he jumped into this cold water here, and, a veteran, now already on my side here with Hannes. Thank you for making it. Now, that said, I have to show you one slide which you will not believe it. And by the way, this was a slide which Torsten presented in our last supervisory board meeting. By the way, he always comes up in a supervisory board meeting, not with the presentation which we have agreed, always with a new paper. And in this new paper, he had this picture. So, and by the way, he said, look, this is how Tim feels on a daily basis. And to be honest, being with you guys, I felt 24 hours like this, because I'm sitting in a very stretched manner here between the regulation, between the politics, between, our big US business. And I can tell you, it is not easy to have, a kind of daughter which is now have grown up and is now that big. We have to manage the TMUS shareholders, which are very important for us as well, because, we have to represent them as well, and to represent their interest. And then we have all, let's say, the requirements from the operations, the investments, and the employees. And on top of you have you guys. You're standing on the top, by the way, which is, let's say, for us, very important. So this is, let's say, this kind of yoga, which I'm doing, which we are doing on a daily basis. And I think so far, I hope that, you see that we are always trying to stretch ourselves to find the right balance. Now, look, Srini was thinking about the unincumbent, and how can we become the unincumbent? I was thinking to put a picture of Srini. By the way, it's not anymore on this one, into this. Where's the Superman, by the way? We lost him. What the unincumbent is, I had a better picture, but look, our mentality is really not to be an incumbent and always, challenge the status quo. This is, let's say, what you should take away. We will always transform. And by the way, if we fail sometimes, I can tell you, we will change. Look, the B2B area. Look, we were finding out that in some areas we were losing market share. We have entirely changed the setup of the organization, the governance, the product portfolio, our ambition rates, and beyond that one. And I think this is the attitude, to be a challenger of your own business, and with this, the challenger of the other sides. Aside of being incumbent, to be honest, we want to be very, very boring, reliable in the way how we are delivering. And I think, just leave it for a second here again. Look how we tick one after other boxes. And I can tell you, Christian is celebrating his birthday on Saturday, and his 60s, by the way. And he asked me to do a speech. I will only talk about one thing in his speech, which is 2.75, 2.75, 2.75. Because this was the number I heard from him over the last 8 years. He is like a mantra bringing this company to the... So he's really, let's say, bang on, because we had to deliver on this one. And to be honest, it was the last number, which wasn't achieved yet, but now we have 2.72. And I will say thank you, Christian, that we got a green tick here on this one. But reliability, delivering on what we promise, has been always, let's say, our mantra for 5 now consecutive capital markets days. And we will do everything, let's say, to fulfill these commitments again for the next years. How are we doing this? I can tell you this is really a catch-22 for our competition. I can tell you. This flywheel is not easy to match because we have now something which the others don't have. We have a foundation which is strong, and on top of that, we have now a financial flywheel which is really, yes, whenever somebody is trying to out-invest us, whenever I'm trying to, let's say, enter into our core business, he must know that we have the ammunition to react on this one. Maybe not everybody would love that if we invest more, but I can tell you we will not lose. This is the good part of our strategy with the flywheel which we have put in place. So I like it. And by the way, what I like even more is that my competition in Germany cannot complain by saying, this is a monopolist, an ex-monopolist, you have to regulate them. Because what we are investing is money which we are earning outside of Germany, which we are now getting from the US, which we are getting from Europe, which we can use in Europe. So nobody can complain if we are taking money out of our portfolio to be better in Germany. Nobody can ask for regulation anymore. So this is, I think, another strong argument which is keeping our flywheel running. Now, superior networks and the obsession for quality for our customers, I like to leave with you. And this is something I think, if I was listening to the presentation, which came across very well, this kind of obsession for customers and this obsession of being leading. And I can tell you one thing, you're never ready with that, but we will come in the next months with a new program about quality. Because the way how we measure quality, for instance, the network, about coverage and bandwidth, this is age. This is old stuff. We have to think about the hex spins, the way of the journeys customers having. We have to think about the individuals, how they experience, and about their needs, and whether they are supporting them with the right things, than rather talking about, let's say, maps only. This is one example. So we are working on a new quality program within the organization, and we keep our customer obsession, let's say, with all we do. And by the way, we know that the leaders of these companies, they have to be the role model for this one. If we are not only telling this, nobody will follow us. You have to live it in your daily basis. You have to be with the customers. They have to see you in the shops and the like. And this is, I think, something where we have to be the role model. So customer centricity everywhere, and the brand. I hope you got, this relevance of a brand. Because to be honest, sitting in front of a spreadsheet, sitting in front of, let's say, your numbers, I think you miss one piece. And by the way, I'm a born finance guy. I spent, a lot of my time in front of spreadsheets and making Excel and all this kind of stuff. But I learned something. Business is 50%. Is emotions. It's about, let's say, people trust into you. It's about their instinct to follow you. It's this kind of, let's say, this intuition people have, whether they can trust you because they believe you belong to their tribe, you understand them, and you will have them. And this is, I think, something which an organization has to shape, and you do this with a brand almost, and the culture which the brand always is representing. Now, we have a turnaround, and I would even, that sounds so negative. We have a new venture in our B2B approach. So in the future, I think it's very important that we in our roadshows talk about B2B, that we have deeper dives on this one. To be honest, if I'm getting a question on T-Systems from you guys on a roadshow, this is really rare. But I think it is very important because for the ICT and for the IT service, for the software, it is super, super, super important. And the business acceleration, this 20 billion going further with 5% growth on the profitability, this is something, including T-Systems as a differentiator into this, because we are unique in the European telco space in this regard. And therefore, let's see, how we can fulfill the commitments on this new venture on the B2B side. Next generation of leaders is ready. Look, I can tell you, you couldn't see them all, but don't be worried that, it is only Tim or it's only Christian or it's only Langheim, this is not the case in this company. There are very, very good leaders. Next generation is ready to come, and we build them. If you're interested in this, by the way, we will open the books and we will show you the people, but I can only give you a certain trust on this one. We have the best team in the industry. Look, that is what probably everybody says, but we know that we have to invest into this one. And by the way, you have to have fun. Look, I'm not sure, sometimes I have the feeling you guys are completely spaßbefreit. That means, but anyway, I feel sorry for you guys. Yesterday evening, I got the impression that there's still some emotions and some humans ticking in your bodies. But at least Emmett is a good example of somebody who lives his life, yeah. But we have to have fun as well, and we are always trying to have fun as well in the work how we're doing this. And by the way, fortunately, we have somebody who said in the supervisory board, I'm always taking the tiger by his ears. So therefore, the unique PE and venture capital approach, which we have a side of doing excellent operation, is something which makes us strong as well. And we will do everything, to keep this different approach, this kind of, let's say, less emotions, but hard fighters as well here on the side. Coming to my last sentence, what's with me? Look, I can tell you, I'm looking forward for playing golf. But golf is something which is a good example. I'm playing a handicap of 9. And I can tell you I can play everywhere. I can play the best courses in the world with a handicap of 9. I can play even with pros. I'm not good, but it is okay. It's good enough. Most of the players, they don't play 9. So now, the question which I have is, should I change my golf play? Because, it's fine. The moment I'm going to change it, it means I have to change my swing. The moment I'm going to change my swing, I have a big risk that I will play really bad rounds afterwards. Because it takes a long time to get this new swing into success. Should I do that? And blame myself on the rounds, for a while? Or should I willing to change? And by the way, this is the same which is probably true for Germany. Because Germany is sitting on a very good handicap. They're very wealthy. Everything is fine. Why should Germany change its swing? And the same is true for Deutsche Telekom. We have a fantastic performance. We can easily say, by the way, this swing is sufficient. Let's go on. Why change it? Now, I can tell you, as long as I'm here and this team is here, I promise you, we're constantly trying to change our swing. Because we have a recipe, and I show you why this is important. This is when I started as a CEO. And I said, journalists asked me, what is your aspiration? What are your targets for the future? And I said, I want that my share price and my handicap is crossing. I said, what is that? Yeah, I said, my handicap is 24. Share price of Deutsche Telekom is 10. So if these two lines are crossing, I have been successful. By the way, if the line is crossing, share price stays as 10, but my handicap gets under 10, I had a fantastic golf year. Shitty business, but okay. If my handicap stays at 24 and my share price is crossing, I had a fantastic business year. The art is that both lines are crossing. And that is, by the way, what happened. So now I have 60 billion to add on the red line, and I have to bring my swing further down. you know, we have a proof of concept that you can do it at the same time in the same direction, and this is our commitment for you guys. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the trust you gave us over the last years.